Assalamualaikum to Prof Bayaah. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce myself and my group members. My name is Aasiah Binti Darwis.
My name is Siti Rokiah.
My name is Syaidatul Zawane.
Okay, we would like to present about our research. The title is Attitude, Subjective Norm and Perceived Behavioral Control Towards Educational Loan Repayment Intention based on the Malaysian graduate perspective.
Now we proceed to our research problem. Okay, our research problem is students at all levels of their studies are eligible to apply for their student loan, and then around 80% of total students register for higher education studies to do those loans. However, 50% of them were defaulted in repayment based on national NHEFC 2009. And then this is a serious issue in Malaysian higher education funding. And then if this default rate continues, it is estimated that NHEFC may end up with a deficit of RM46 billion, approximately GBP 8.2 billion in year 2020. And then we proceed to our research objective. Our first RO is to investigate the relationship between attitude and repayment intention in the context of education loan. Our second RO is to investigate the relationship between subjective norm and repayment intention in the context of education loan. Our third research objective is to investigate the relationship between perceived behavioral control and repayment intention in the context of education loans. Our research question is, does Malaysian graduates' attitude influence their intention to repay the educational loan? Our second research question is, does subjective norm influence their intention to repay the education loan? Our third research question is, does perceived behavioral control influence their intention to repay the education loan? And then we proceed to our hypothesis. We have three hypotheses, which is there is a significant relationship between student attitude towards educational loan, repayment intention. Our second hypothesis is there is significant relationship between subjective norm toward educational loan repayment intention. And our last hypothesis is there is significant relationship between perceived behavioral control toward educational loan repayment intention. Okay, this is our theory to be applied in our research, which is theory of resonant action and theory of planned behavior. And then we go to our framework, which is we use direct relationship. Okay, our IV is first attitude toward education loan repayment intention. Our second IV is subjective norm toward education loan repayment intention. And our third IV is perceived behavioral control toward education loan repayment intention.
Okay, let's proceed to the population and sampling technique. Okay, this research was conducted in private university at UNITA International University main campus. Okay, quantitative research design was chosen to distribute the questionnaire to 60 respondents in order to collect data. Sampling technique used in this instance was stratified random sampling. Okay, so let's proceed to the summary table of measurement item. There are 5 sections. The first one is demographic. The second one is our DV, which is educational loan repayment intention. And then the third one is our first IV, which is attitude, followed by second IV, which is subjective norm. And the last one is our third IV, which is perceived behavioral control.
Okay, let's proceed. Based on the table, we test the descriptive analysis using the demography, which are ethnicity, gender, residential income, personal income, household income, age, education, and also profession. Okay, we go to the box plot. In the study, the analysis indicate that assumption of the data is to be normal as there is significant relationship towards the loan repayment intention. Therefore, further of analysis need to using parametric statistic, Pearson correlation, and regression. If the data is abnormal, we must use the Pearson correlation. Okay, we proceed to factor analysis. All the independent variable and dependent variable are fall in one column under component matrix except for subjective norm, which is in the two column. Each one component was extracted. Okay, in the reliability test, the rest coverage coefficient alpha are summarized in the reliability test as below. The result for coverage alpha for DV is 0.805, for attitude 0.884, for subjective norm is 0.715, and for perceived behavior control is 0.261. Okay, we proceed to independent t-test. The result showed that means for male is 4.1429 while female is 4.3333. This means that both groups more to strongly agree. Thus, there is no much differences, no significant relationships to do loan repayment intention among male and female, regardless what gender. Okay, we proceed to the correlation analysis. This study defined that dependent variable repayment intention has a significant relationship towards all the independent variable. Furthermore, R value indicates that the strong relationship between the loan repayment intention and attitude, which is 0.795, is more than 0.6. There are moderate relationship between the repayment intention and subjective norm, which is 0.491, and also the between repayment relationship and perceived behavioral control, which is 0.403. This factor interpreted the strong significant value as well as the R value. Okay, we proceed to multiple regressions. The result shown that only one p-value is significant. The remaining variables are not significant. The current study ran all the independent variables simultaneously to see the most important to consider the engagement of the repayment intention, which is the respondent attitudes itself. Only one significant variable attitude p-value, which is 0.000, which is less than 0.05, and the beta value is the higher among the others, 0.652. The remaining independent variables is not significant, which are more than 0.05, which is the subjective norm is 0.215 and perceived behavior control 0.748.
Okay, the results show that all independent variables, attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control explain R square 60.9% on the variance of the dependent variable, which is our educational loan repayment intention. This result is significant where the R square are strong, which is more than 0.5. This research revealed that one of the determining factors that concern on the attitude toward educational loan repayment. Okay, based on our hypothesis result, H1 support H1 because there is significant relationship between student attitude toward educational loan repayment intention. And then our H2 is not support because there is no significant relation between subjective norm toward loan repayment intention. And our H3 also not support because there is no significant relationship between perceived behavioral control toward educational loan repayment intention.
Okay, our next slide is to present about the limitation and the suggestion towards the limitation. Okay, the first point is a very small scope of our independent variable, which is attitude, and our suggestion is to enlarge the independent variable, which is component of attitude. Then the second one is a small sample size that may not represent the population. So for our suggestion is to expand the sample size of population up to 300. Okay, the third one is to focus on Malay respondent compared to other ethnicities. So, we for next future research, we are going to distributing the questionnaire equally among the ethnicities. And then the last one is the respondent take too much time and do not honestly answer the queries. So the suggestion is each respondent was reminded to answer the questionnaire honestly. Okay, so the last slide is our conclusion. The finding can be useful for educational loan providers such as PT-PTN, MARA and bank loan for education, revealing factors that influence the attitude of graduate towards repayment of loan so that the educational loan provider better understand the problem of non-repayment of educational loan among Malaysian graduates. Okay, next is we must educate the necessary value in the graduate with an emphasis that repaying the loan is their responsibility. A demand to change their attitude towards such debt. The third one is the Ministry of Education of Malaysia is the entity responsible for Malaysian educational matters. It can use this research to assist educational loan provider to better understand a borrower's need and expectation, and this will influence repayments. So the fourth is educational loan provider must also educate graduate on the implication of failing to repay their loans. As for graduate, proper financial planning is important to ensure that they are not trapped in debt. The last one is educational loan provider need to find way to minimize the negative perception associated with loan repayments. One of the possible way is through collaboration with the other organization or institution of higher learning in Malaysia. So that's all from us. Thank
Thank
you.
you.